What's new from when you were in middle school in Copperfield to now? What would you say are the biggest differences?
I would say the whole Bridgeland area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I was growing up here, there was nothing past Fry Road. You really didn't go past there. If you had asked me where Hockley was, I would have been like, I don't know, East Texas.
Real talk, let's get down to it. Jimmy and Rodney, they're gonna walk you through it. From the market trains to the best spots in town. Cypress, real talk, we got it all going down.
Boom.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sci-Fi Real Talk. We are your hosts. My name is Jim O'Holland.
And I'm Rodney Jordan.
And welcome to episode 9 of Sci-Fi Real Talk. This is a very special episode, Rodney.
Yes.
So we're going to change it up a bit, and we are going to bring on our first official guest to the show. So
Monumental moment for Sci-Fi Real Talk.
Episode 9 is going to go down as a big episode, and what a great guest to have. He is a top producer of Sci-Fi Real Estate. He's also a native of Sci-Fi. Let's go and bring him on. All right. Welcome to the show, Kenton Ellis.
Welcome.
How's it going, everybody?
Thanks for joining us, Kenton. So we appreciate it coming on. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Kenton Ellis. I was fortunate to be a top producer last year in a hard year of real estate. I'm from here in Cypress. I went to Lingham Creek. Spent some time at Texas State, Arizona, and then Jim brought me back to Cypress.
There you go. Yes, we did. Yeah, it's been a good run. You've been with us, what?
I think 3.5 years.
3 years, a little over 3 years. So,
Wow.
But yeah, so he is again a great person to have because of his real estate knowledge and his knowledge of the area. His Cypress, Sci-Fair knowledge. As he said, he grew up in Copperfield area, right?
Yeah, Copperfield. I went to Libi Middle School at one point, went to Aragon.
Hey, he said it right, Jim.
Yeah,
It is Libi, not LeBay. Not LeBay.
I jacked that up.
Good catch.
My son actually told me that, and I screwed that up. So my bad.
The Libi Eagles.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Eagles. There you go.
There you go.
Okay, nice. So Libi, what elementary school?
I did not. So I'd spent a lot of time overseas. So I spent 2 years in Dubai, 2 years in China. One unfortunate year in Oklahoma. Sorry, people from Oklahoma. I don't like that state.
Okay.
But yeah, so I didn't go to elementary school here.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Okay.
So what grade did you move?
I was here for 6th grade. So starting
so
middle school.
just out of elementary.
But I was born in Cypress. I just relocated for a while.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good stuff. So what? I guess what's changed? What's new from when you were in middle school in Copperfield to now? What would you say are the biggest differences?
I would say the whole Bridgeland area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I was growing up here, there was nothing past Fry Road. You really didn't go past there. If you had asked me where Hockley was, I would have been like, I don't know, East Texas. Hockley wasn't really on the map. They were building Fairfield and the outlet malls. That was all new.
Yeah.
So when I got back here, I mean, the area had just exploded. I had so much to learn. I spent most of my time when I started making calls and then driving around to the builders in Bridgeland and trying to figure out what they were doing and what they were building.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot, huh?
Yeah. It's like drinking from a fire hydrant.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of differences. So, Copperfield was like the first big master plan community in the Northwest area, right? I mean, it was kind of it was the first one to go. Was it Friendswood? Was it Friendswood Development? I think it was.
Copperfield
Pretty sure
was.
it was.
I kind of sensed that coming from you, and I was already starting to look back.
Yeah,
and for the folks that's listening, that would be on episode 6. We actually spotlighted Copperfield on episode 6.
Do you know all the villages in Copperfield?
Oh,
I
yeah.
do not.
Oh,
That would be quite the thing to know, though. I know quite a few of them,
yeah.
but I wouldn't say I know all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We highlighted every single village.
Yes,
we
we
did a nice
did.
map. So for all
The
of those
villagers.
that want more information on Copperfield, please check out episode 6. I'll put a little link on the video on you for people watching on YouTube. So episode 6 will go here. Boom. That's awesome. All right. So what did you like to do growing up in Copperfield?
So I played tennis, so I was always on the tennis courts, and there's a lot of them in Copperfield that you can use for, if you live there, you can use for free. But
Nice.
they don't really police them, so. And so I did that. I spent some time at the YMCA. I worked at the Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins on Highway 6, so I was there a lot.
Nice. Okay.
I was the lifeguarding manager at Park Falls Pool, so you would see me up in the stand yelling at your kids to stop running.
Okay.
So that spent a lot of my time there. Really, that was pretty much it. Just kind of running around and,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, let me
Outside childhood.
Let
for
me
sure.
ask you a question because we spotlighted Copperfield and some of the things we were talking about, the pools and the things to do there and everything. For someone considering Copperfield, what are some of the pros for us? We gave our pros and cons, but
Right.
what are
Good
yours,
question.
Kentons? For you actually was born and bred there.
Yeah, I mean, the way they laid out the neighborhood, it's kind of cool. So whenever you're in Copperfield, you kind of have access to all of the amenities. And I'm not sure if kids still ride bikes nowadays, but that was what we did.
Yeah,
And so, you know, we'd hop on our bike and we'd go from the Park Falls pool to the Autumn Laurel pool over to the pool that's by Lowry Elementary School. I mean, we were just moving. And the neighborhoods are so interconnected. We were never on any big streets or major streets. There's a lot of sidewalks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a very tight-knit community. If you're looking for an older style layout home, a lot of them will have pools now. Good place to look. A lot of those homes have been renovated since they've been built. I think the building date for a lot of those homes are like 1990s, 1980s. So
Right.
they're kind of coming up when people have done the work and they're getting ready to move into something smaller. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for your big starter home that's already had the work done, it's a good place to check out.
Yeah. And the tax rates are
Tax
I
rates
think,
are low.
lower
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So established
And
neighborhood.
the YMCA is right there. And they got
Yeah,
pickleball.
Langham, right?
Everybody
Right.
likes pickleball.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, pickleball.
Yeah, I've been. We had another agent talking about it. Blake was talking about it yesterday. How he's just been into it, and it's just. I'm seeing a lot of tennis courts being replaced by pickleball courts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people they're building them. I think
yeah.
we were talking about that around the office yesterday.
Now you'll see a lot of them will have the lines for pickleball, and so they'll be able to play pickleball, but you can also still play tennis.
Yeah.
For me growing up, I played tennis, and so I played pickleball the other day, and everybody was like, "Oh, how are you so good at this?" And I was like, "It's an easier version of tennis."
Yes.
No
that's
offense
what-
to my pickleball players out there, but you run a lot less.
You know,
in pickleball.
one of the quotes I talked about last time we said was pickleball are for those people that are not athletic enough to play tennis and too poor to play golf. Pickleball is the only sport they have.
I'd say it's just you don't really have to worry about a big serve in pickleball because it's just kind of tapped over the net. There's only so many different types of spins you can pick on pickleball. I'm sure people will tell me I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
Right.
if you've ever played tennis, I could put spins on those balls and just make them impossible to get.
Right.
It's a fun sport though. It's a good time.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's good.
discouraging from pickleball players.
Oh,
but-
that's fun.
Yeah.
No, I
I
enjoy
haven't
it.
played. I
'Cause
gotta
I'm
try-
not good at tennis, but
Yeah.
pickleball, I can hit it over. It's kind of like almost like ping pong.
It
and
is
I'm
ping
actually
pong.
pretty similar
Yeah.
to ping pong, and I'm decent at ping pong. Horrible at tennis, but so pickleball I can kind of get. So that's
So for
good.
me, like playing tennis, I was what you call a serve and volley. So I would serve at a big serve, big guy, and then before they could get the ball back over, I was already at the net.
Charged the net.
Yeah.
up.
So pickleball is a lot of volleying. Once you get past, like, I think you have to hit one over. They hit one over, and then you can be at the net. So from that point of view, it was really easy because that's my tennis game. I'm at the net.
But you can't get in the kitchen, right? And that was called
You
the
can,
kitchen.
you can be in the kitchen after the third shot.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't think
so
I
you
knew
can
that.
approach and be in the. From what I was told, maybe I have the
Okay.
rules wrong, but
Okay.
Yeah.
you can be there after the third shot, but you can't spike the ball. That's a rule. So if you're in the kitchen, you can't like. It has to be
got
like a placed shot. Which
So
is
for
fine.
those that don't
Okay,
know,
I
the
was getting
kitchen,
ready to ask.
and the pickleball court, the way the lines are, there's a line right next to the net,
Okay.
or 3 feet away from the net
Yeah.
or so, and it's called the kitchen. And you're
Okay.
not allowed to get in the kitchen. I heard you can't get in the kitchen unless the ball actually bounces in the kitchen, and then you can get in the kitchen. But maybe maybe it's after the third shot. I don't know.
I didn't look up the rules. We just went and played at the. There's a place in East Houston called the Bumpy Pickle. It's pretty new.
Okay.
We had a friend who was having her birthday. We went, rented some courts. We played for about 2 hours. And
Okay.
Some of the people there had their own paddles and everything. They taught me the rules of which they play. And so I abided by those rules.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
to my understanding, you can be in the kitchen. You can't spike the ball in the kitchen. And you can't start volleying until the third shot.
Okay, so there
Okay.
you go.
A lot
All
of
right,
rules
so
there.
different rules. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's house rules depending on where you play.
Possibly.
So, maybe. So
Yeah.
okay,
Anyway, the bumpy pickle.
The Bumpy
was
Pickle.
That
that's a
was
great name. The Bumpy Pickle.
Yeah, it's a really
Like it.
nice place. For those of you who haven't explored East Houston, it's kind of one of those areas that's being quickly revitalized. So they have like the East River 9 golf course. They have
Okay.
the Bumpy Pickle. They're building new houses out there. Just don't. If you don't like trains, it's not for you. We did get stopped by a train. The train was just sitting on the tracks and made me feel like I was back in San Marcos.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned golf. I know you do golf, right?
I do.
Do you have any favorite courses around the area?
Depending on the day,
Yeah.
how I'm playing, a course might become my favorite. I live in Katy, so I
Okay.
golf Cinco Ranch pretty often.
Nice.
I like RIP, but High Meadow Pines. They got washed away in the flood, so you can't golf there anymore.
Was that Harvey?
What-
For that?
No, that was the most recent one.
Really?
Yeah. If you look it up, there's you can look up their videos, and usually like from their clubhouse is very pretty. You have like the first tee box, and then like the driving range, and the startup of the second tee box, and it was all underwater.
Yeah.
I think they lost like 6 or 7 holes because of the water.
Really?
And I don't think they've quite recovered yet.
You talking about the storm from like last month?
Yeah. Well, they're up there in Porter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
that's
they're
up.
located
Okay.
up there
Yeah.
in Porter. So
Speaking of floods, my God,
Yeah,
the
that's-
rain right now.
We
is
did a storm edition.
insane. No,
It's
it's
like,
like a
man.
storm edition. This is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Houston-
we're not supposed to get rain today, folks. For those that are listening,
Yeah.
and it is absolutely pouring. It has been
it's
for
coming
hours.
down.
This is nuts.
But I will say
okay.
my best value course is Jersey Meadows.
Yes, I do like Jersey
it's,
Meadows.
It's not
Sounds
expensive to play. It's a pretty course. It's not too hard.
Yeah.
I
You ever
play
go
there
to
a
the
lot.
one out in Hempstead? What's that one called? Legendary Oaks.
I've been out there.
Yeah, so that's fairly good value too.
It's
I
a good
think.
value. I will say the course isn't as nice.
Yeah.
But it's if you're learning to play, I don't recommend playing expensive courses because you're just
Right.
kind of wasting your money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
And you know they're closing down Cypress Lakes Golf Course.
I heard about this.
Ah,
yeah.
so sad.
I played
So-
there the other week.
Did you? Yeah.
It's
so
still
then-
in good condition, but I
Yeah.
did hear that they're shutting down.
And
It's a
then
shame.
Longwood Village went from 27 to 18, and they're changing that to be private.
Yeah,
So
I did hear
I think
about
in
that
the
as well.
fall, I think. So if you
Yeah,
want
a
to
lot of
play and don't
golf
want to
action
worry
going.
about a membership, you got a few months, I think, to go out to Longwood.
So my stepfather tried to book a tea time there the other day, and he said that they're already private. They wouldn't let him book one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Okay,
that.
maybe they
Breaking
have
news.
salaries.
Maybe,
There
yeah,
you go.
breaking news. I
There you
didn't know
go.
that. So maybe it's already done deal. Wow.
Wow.
That's too bad because I wanted to go out there. I used to love playing there when I before I had kids. I lived in Coles Crossing. That was my go-to was Longwood.
Yeah, Longwood.
27 holes and heavily wooded, so it's kind of very scenic. But yeah, no, that's
Private.
too bad.
Okay.
So anyway, so speaking of the storms, you make it through okay? Any issues with the storm we had?
So I was fortunate. I live in Katy. We didn't lose power. The storm
Lucky.
was about 45 minutes. I was worried about hail, and then we didn't get hail.
Yeah.
I parked my truck outside because it doesn't fit in the garage. And then after the storm was done, I went out and got some ice cream. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah.
Nobody told me.
Crazy.
Yeah. I know you and I we got together the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And went to a listing appointment.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Rodney was telling me that he might not be able to make it, and I was like, why?
I was like, "There's a storm. Like, look outside." And he's like, "Bro, it's fine. I'm having ice cream."
Just goes to show how big Houston is when the
that
weather
is.
doesn't affect certain areas and affects
Yeah.
the other ones.
No,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we're gonna have any flooding today. I mean, this has just been a lot of rain right now.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Well, that's good. So, in terms of other thing, restaurants, you have a favorite restaurant in the area?
I have a few that I eat at. My favorite for tacos would be Ruby's Taco Truck. It's off 290 and I want to say Telge.
Okay. Yeah, near
Okay.
Cy Fair High School.
Yep, right near
Okay.
Cy Fair High School. I think
Okay.
they actually have a restaurant, like a building now, but
Oh,
I still
brick
go to
and
the
mortar
taco
now. Okay.
truck.
Interesting. I've never been there.
I think
Okay,
tacos
good.
taste better from a truck.
Right. Okay.
And then for breakfast, if you're ever looking for breakfast, and they do it 24/7, there's the Cypress. I think it's like the smokehouse up there on Highway 6 by Texas Roadhouse. Might be a good one.
Harris County.
Yeah,
Harris
Harris
County
County.
Smokehouse.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
I
they
agree.
do
That is a very
excellent
good-
breakfast.
Have you been
Yeah,
there yet?
I have not had that.
Yeah,
one.
so Harris County is a very good. That's a good call.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah?
the barbecue is average, but the breakfast is excellent.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I agree. The breakfast is good. Do you have a favorite barbecue restaurant? Speaking of,
Oh man, that's tough. I grew up in San Marcos, so
Yeah.
the barbecue there was
Oh, yeah.
always like what is it, Salt Lick and Kent Blacks, and,
Black Stubbs.
yeah, and Stubbs,
Austin.
and so it really. I haven't found one in Houston that I feel compares yet. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
out there. I'm
Yeah.
not saying we don't have it. I think Houston's one of the food hubs of. Honestly, I'd go as far to say the
Country.
U.S.
Yeah.
yes.
But I haven't found one that's my go-to yet. I've had a couple recommendations, just haven't had time to get out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of barbecue, you did a event at the Houston Rodeo, the livestock rodeo, and they
That's
had
right,
the
the
barbecue
barbecue
contest,
cook-off.
at the
They did.
cook-off,
Barbecue
and
cook-off.
Yeah, so I sponsor a cook-off tent for the Houston Rodeo.
Yeah.
I give some tickets out to clients for people to come out and partake.
Okay.
But yeah, I did get to try the brisket that they were submitting for the judges, and that has honestly ruined my taste for brisket. It was so good.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't know
Okay.
that meat could melt in your mouth.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
that was an experience.
Yeah,
and
that's
they take
great.
that very seriously, and there's I didn't know it was such a science to cook that kind of meat.
Right.
I mean, they all these rigs are custom made, and they change them every year, and they tweak them, and very passionate about what they do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, my Bridgeland does a barbecue cook-off every year, so we were talking about that
Yes,
about a
we
month
did.
ago.
Yes,
so
we did.
my son Ben was one of the judges, and he was the only one that judged all three items. So it was they had a chicken, a rib, and a brisket, and most people did two of the three, but Ben did all three, and he literally slept for like 24 hours.
I am not surprised that Ben did all three. If you haven't seen Ben, Ben's a big guy.
Yeah, and if you want that episode, go to episode 2. That's what we talked
episode
about.
two.
That.
Boom,
Yeah,
man,
episode
Rodney
2.
on the spot. That's good. So, but yeah, no, barbecue is good. We just had barbecue delivered to our house, and we had guests in town. So, speaking of Ben, he graduated.
Congratulations.
One of the reasons, so again, I apologize. We did not bring an episode last week. Most of it's because I had a whole bunch of guests in town, graduation stuff going on, a
Yes.
whole bunch of events. So, but that was a big reason. But we had barbecue brought to the house, and in the past, this place was not necessarily one of my favorites, but in this case, it was amazing. Was Papa Charlie's?
Really?
Right
Papa
there
Charlie.
on
I haven't
Hempstead.
heard people talk about Papa
Yeah,
Charlie.
yeah. I mean, we had the brisket. It was amazing. It was one of the best brisket I've had in a long time. I was like, this is Papa Charlie's. We've eaten there tons.
I may
It
go
was
there for lunch.
okay. But this brisket, I don't know what they maybe they got a new guy cooking.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know.
I'm saying.
But
Maybe
it was
it's a
like,
new-
wow. It was amazing. Everyone that ate it was like, where'd you get the brisket?
Yeah.
This is amazing. So anyway, maybe another
Yeah.
need to try out. I mean, it's right around the
Maybe
corner
one of
from
our top
office.
10 lists too, Jim.
we need to do some
Barbecue
top 10
spots,
barbecue.
man.
Barbecue, Tex-Mex, the
Pickleball
people.
courts.
Golf courses,
So
that are
Papa
still
Charlie's.
around. Yeah, Papa Charlie's was good.
Okay.
So, yeah, so definitely
I
good.
want to get it a shot.
Tex-Mex restaurants, speaking of, do you have a favorite?
Guerri's Tex-Mex on Highway 6 does great beef fajitas. They're
Okay.
actually pretty cheap. During COVID is when I kind of discovered them because they switched their business like everybody else did to pick up and remote delivery.
Yeah.
And so for $10.99, you could get your own beef fajita set, and they'd send you on your way, and they're fantastic.
Okay. What's
I'd
it
say
called? What's it called?
Aguero's
Aguero's,
Tex-Mex. They
okay.
have one in Tomball, one on Highway 6.
And that's Highway 6 and what, Cross Street?
Well,
529?
it's technically like 1960, right off of 1960 in front of that Big Lots, kind of by where I don't think it's called the Rave anymore, but the Rave movie theaters is. You're just driving down 1960. Come on,
I'm
Jay.
like,
Highway
okay,
6, so
I know
you're talking-
Highway 6.
Or sorry, not 1960. It is Highway 6.
Highway 6, yeah. On the other
approaching
side of
I-10.
290. Yeah, okay.
By the
Making
Rave,
sure.
there's the Big Lots.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my
Okay.
fault. That was my
Okay.
fault.
Yeah. It's like it was 1960s, the other side,
Yeah,
290.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it was.
Other side. Other
Yeah,
side.
got it. Okay. No, that's good. Yeah, I have not had that one, so I have to try that out. So lots of good Tex-Mex. I know, Rodney, you go to the one next to our office a lot. What's the name of that one again?
Oh, I don't even know their name.
I
I
boy.
believe
put
it's
you on the
what,
spot.
Fajita Pete's?
No,
Not
that's
fajita
what we
pizza.
had for
We
the
had
fajita
yesterday.
pizza.
It was
Was
good.
good.
Yeah, it's good.
I
That's
love that
delivery.
chicken.
It was delivery.
I love
but
their
the
chicken
was good.
fajitas.
Feta pizza's good, but yeah, only delivery. But no, that's definitely if you're in the area and want something delivered. One of my go-tos is because it's easy to get in and usually pretty consistent is just Alicia's. Alicia's is good. It's right here.
Yeah.
It's easy. Always, never a wait.
Yep.
A lot of these Mexican Tex-Mex places, you just have to wait forever. Like Lupe Tortillas usually has a wait, but Gringos is stupid.
Yeah.
You can't get in there with less than an hour wait. So,
And I think that's a lot of the tourists kind of because it's like the chainsy franchise type stuff, but the local stuff, man, you can. You get
usually, if I'm eating out, I try to eat somewhere local. Anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. So let's get to maybe a little bit of real estate talk.
Yeah, let's get down to it. All right. So we want to transition to our new segment.
Let's talk about the market. Then I kind of want to get Kenton's thoughts on just where he's been selling and what neighborhoods he's looking at. But one segment we always do on the show, Kenton, is how's the market?
How's the market?
So, and good news is that we have updated data. So we can look at the updated data here for Cy-Fair area in terms of how the market's doing. So this is hot off the press. Thank you, Amy Denton, our amazing office manager, for updating the data. Thank you, Amy. Yes. But yeah, so this is hot off the press. New data. But yeah, so I mean, the market's doing what it's supposed to do this time of year, right?
Yeah.
The sales price down a tad. Again, this is all Northwest Houston is what this is. This is Cy-Fair ISD, Waller ISD, Tomball ISD is what we're looking at here, Kenton, just to kind of get your bearings. The dollar per square foot is even, and the days on market for May is 22 days on market.
Which is pretty good. It's speeding up.
Off.
Yeah, 20. That's what you want. You want it to go down. This is this is a solid market. We have these waves. I was talking to, we talked about this at previous,
Yes, we did.
A previous episode. See the waves? You have a kind of the days on market gets slow in February and then kind of goes down in June, July, slow down. So and then you had COVID to where there was no wave. It was just flat.
Yeah.
It was just everything was just flying off the shelves, and now we're back to the waves. And I was happy to see that it's going back down. Obviously, would have been concerned if it started flattening up on the high end with days on market, and but we didn't do that. It is doing what it's supposed to do. So May was lower than April, so 27 to 22.
With days on market going down, I do feel like that's also coming from people realizing that they're having to price their homes appropriately now. It's not going to fly off the shelf.
Right.
I mean, I think during the 2% interest rates, I was seeing houses go for $80,000 over asking, and that's just not something you're really going to see too often now. I mean, you'll get some homes that are going over, but not to the extent that they were.
Yeah,
So-
and typically it's if the listing agent priced the home incorrectly anyway, right?
Yeah.
If you price it low, then you'll still get activity. So there's still buyers out here. I mean, my listing last week got 3 offers in the first weekend. So so I mean, if the house is in good condition, it's priced right. I mean, it'll go. You'll have the buyers come look at the house. So, and then if you go back and look again, we're looking at data from the May data and sales data. So if we go back and look at only the resales. To get a little better accurate view, because sometimes builders do skew the data a bit.
Look at that.
We look at that.
18 days on market.
Yeah. So, I mean, the days on market, again, 16 days on market in May, down from 19 in April. Dollar per square foot is
Just a little less.
158. Yeah, just a tad bit less. The overall sales price still 350.
Which I will say, with the dollar per square foot being a little less, typically your new build homes are a little smaller. And so your older homes, you're going to get more square footage. And the higher square footage you have, the lower per square foot it is. So
Yeah, that's
gonna check out.
People don't always understand that, but that is the case. So I went and narrowed it just on Cypress, and let me change the date range. Let's do so we can zoom in a little bit. Let's just go this year. Apply. So you can see this a little
24
more.
days on market. Still really healthy.
Cypress, 415. The average resale in Cypress is selling at 415,000. The average per square foot in Cypress down a little bit, but still 162 a square foot. And yeah, the days on market, 13 days on the market in May is the average. So
That sounds about what we've been seeing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's that sales price is probably close to a record, I'm gonna guess. So no, so the top price was, again, the peak was May, June 2022. That was one kind of the peak of the COVID mania, all that stuff. So that was $445 is the average the price. Now we're at $415 per square foot. Back then was $166, and now we're $161. So it's still near a top. That's
Yeah.
when people ask about the market. I say, well, it's not going down. I mean, I mean, it's staying very even. It's not going up either.
Yeah, which is good.
So you know what? I wish my local tax appraisal district knew about this, because my property taxes skyrocketed this past tax season. So
I think I had 6 or 7 clients reach out to me asking me to run them some CMAs so they could go argue their taxes.
it's
From what I know, they
ridiculous.
all got them to lower it.
Okay.
It wasn't to the lowest. But I think just even petitioning in general, they're going to be like, okay, well, this guy's going to cause an argument. We'll give him a break.
Yeah.
Right.
They shoot for the people that just take it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on.
But here's something else to look at in terms of how solid the market is. Just the total number of sales. May resales, we had 245 resales. That is the highest that we've had, at least since 2022. 245 in Cypress.
Wow.
So more sales this month than any other month in the past couple of years. I mean, I bet if I bring that back to, let's go back to beginning of 2020, just to see if we ever sold more than the number. Yeah. So, okay. So during the peak of the real COVID mania, when everyone was buying a house, July 2020, we sold 320 houses in Cypress. In July 2021, we sold 311 houses in Cypress.
Yeah. Look at the days of markets back then, Ken.
But the May we sold 237. May 21, 237. May 2020, 180. And this is May. We're at 245. So usually the peak is June, July. So
We're early.
We're still building.
We're still building up. Exactly. So yeah, the market for those people looking to sell, some people are still asking me, is it, should I sell?
Yeah.
Is it a good time? Because of everyone's all freaked out about the interest rates. I'm thinking maybe you need to wait or something. I was like, if you're considering it, because I have a lot of people right now debating between leasing and selling.
Yes.
I think part of it is, I think it's a twofold. I think one, they think they don't want to lose their interest rate they got, right?
Yep.
I'm locked in at 3%. I don't want to lose that. But two, no one thinks the market's all that good, right? I think there's a notion or a feeling out there that because the interest rates being so high,
Yeah.
that it's just not a good time to sell. And from that data, it's obviously not the case.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like, what Jerome Powell said. You can't just look at one segment of the market. If you're just saying the rate tells me what the market is doing, it's not. You
Right.
need the rate, you need inventory, you need all the components.
Well, I would even
together
say
to get
that
a better picture.
For those people who are waiting or deciding to lease their homes instead of sell, they're holding the market to what it's at. I mean, low inventory speaks for itself.
Yes.
There's no homes to buy. The ones that are there to buy are going to be high.
Right.
They're
True.
going to be desired. You're going to have multiple offers. That's just so. If you keep the inventory low, you're just settling in the storm.
Right.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So, and speaking of rates, so again, we've been following the 10-year Treasury yield because, again, the 30-year mortgage rate follows this 10-year Treasury yield. And Rodney,
Yeah.
we've been watching this. We've been watching this uptrend forever. It
And
bounced.
if you've been watching the show, Jim, they've been watching it with us.
Yep.
What do we got?
We had a bounce here. This is a daily chart, but we had a bounce in mid-May off this trend line, and we bounced again in late May, May 24th. But look at this.
Oh.
Boom.
All
June
right.
3rd, this Monday, it went through the trend line. A big down candle there, down 2.44% on that day. Huge conviction going through the downtrend. So that would be a very bearish signal. If this was a stock, you'd start looking to short because that's very bearish when it goes through a trend line like that. So that was step one. Step two was this support line here. Has to go through that. Look what we have today.
Ooh.
Busting through support. So I think there could be a change, at least in the near term, for mortgage rates going on the downward trend here is kind of what I'm seeing based on technical analysis. So, so that's kind of some big news.
Yeah, and that's the first since we've been looking at this.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the history here. This is we had those lines that then all of a sudden you're like
First
Rodney.
time this year, first time in 2024 that I've seen it. It's like, oh, this is actually looks like rates could be going on the downtrend. So, so something. I mean, we'll keep watching. Here's a weekly candle chart, but you look at that, and yeah, I mean, this week's candle is huge down. I mean, that is down. What's the percent down this week? So that the 10-year Treasury is down almost 5%, 4.5%. So 4.3. Its peak was 4.75. So it's down 0.5%.
Okay.
Since the end of April. So which means the 30-year mortgage rate on average is probably down about 0.5%.
Yeah.
In 5-6 weeks. So that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could bode well for the rest of the summer in terms of some people wanting to buy houses.
telling?
Coming into this hot season, that's kind of the news you want to see.
Yes.
So if you were on the ropes about buying, this is when inventory starts to blow up. This might be the time to do it.
Right. Yeah. So that's the deal. We'll go here to our, again, CypherRealEstate.com. If you go to a mortgage calculator, we have a link here to see rates. Let's see if that is kind of tying in. Let's go. I thought I could click on this. That's not clicking.
Oh, right
There it is.
You clicked the wrong thing.
I just turned the wrong click.
Yeah.
But look at this. Boom. So again, end of April, that was the high, 7.5%, and as of today the 4th, today's the 5th. As of yesterday, and again, it's down more today, but 7.07. So again, 0.5% is what the U.S. Treasury said, and this is what this 30-year deal says. So, and it's going to be lower tomorrow because the rates today were so much lower. So, so we're going to be looking at rates going to be probably below 7%.
Okay.
On average, and again, most of our preferred lenders can get you some good deals with incentive and seller contributions, that kind of stuff. We're seeing a lot of people getting rates in the 6s already, so I mean it's going to just keep going lower with this trend. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said, at least from my experience, anything in the 4s and 5s is kind of a healthy place for the market. Although we all want that 2% golden rate, it's just not healthy for the market to run at that pace.
Right.
It's not sustainable.
Now, Kenton, there's someone with a little bit more gray in their hair, and they're yelling at the screen right now. And they're going, when I bought a home, it was 9%, and we were dancing in the office. And I remember when I was doing it, it was like 7%, and we couldn't believe it, you know? So it's just depending on those times.
From my generational standpoint, 4 to 5 is a good place to live. And I'll just say that playing some devil's advocate to that, what my generation's telling them, when you bought a home, you bought it for $90K.
Oh, yes.
You weren't financing $350,000.
Yes.
Right.
So I think that's the big difference. I'll take, if you can get me a house for $90,000 that's worth $350,000 and you tell me I'm going to have to finance it for 9%, I'll sign the papers right now.
right.
No. Great point. Again, you got to look at all the components together.
There's more, like you're saying, there's more than just one thing to the market.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I agree. Though in terms of the rate, when I first bought my first house in '99, rates were 6 3/4. Sorry, 7 3/4. 7 3/4. I remember when they dropped to 6.
Yeah.
You know, like 2 years later, like that's amazing. They're never gonna go this low again. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And then who knew they get down to 2?
Yeah.
And the 2s for a 30-year mortgage is just stupid.
Yeah, I had the loan officer was high-fiving us and telling, you got a great rate. We're like, yes, you know, and they're like, they haven't even seen it.
Yes.
Sweet.
So, all right. Well, that's good. Good news on the rates. Good news on the market. Homes are moving. I think it's a very solid market right now in terms of both sellers and buyers. It's got very balanced. There's still inventory to be had,
Yeah.
but homes are selling. So it's a very balanced market. I think it's a very solid market, good for the next couple months of the summer season for people to find, buy or sell a house for the kids to get settled before school starts in August and September. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we let Ken go, real quick, Ken, I know you've been out in the field. What are you seeing in terms of neighborhoods? What are some of your favorite neighborhoods out here in the Cypress area?
Well, in the Cypress area, obviously Bridgeland is a hot seller. I've seen, Copperfield sells well. Cypress Lakes sells well. Really, I'm seeing a lot of action where the schools are. So where you have the high-performing schools are where a lot of families want to be, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I did a lot of business, new construction, and so that's new construction on the Bridgeland side with Pearland. Although those homes are zoned to Waller, Waller ISD is on the come up. So if you're looking to be in the Bridgeland community and the schools aren't that pressing for you, Waller ISD is going to be a great school district once they're done.
New elementary school opens up in this August.
Yeah,
New elementary school
they're
in
doing a lot of
Pearland.
building. And then for me, I live in Katy, so I do a lot of business in Katy. So I sell a lot of the new construction out in Katy, which there's so many different neighborhoods you can pop into and check out. And what you really get a variety of price ranges there too. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
No, that's good.
All right. Well, Rodney, you have any other questions for our guests?
I got nothing. I definitely want to say thank you for being here and coming on and being with us and sharing your insights. We like it. That was one of the things that we talked about. Let's get some people in and, give you some other perspectives and things like that. And I hope the fans, I hope the listeners enjoyed it. I want to say this. This is a change for us and labor of love. So definitely.
Our intro song includes us talking to guests. I forget the lyric, but it does say we talk to guests. So we definitely want to do more of this. And I think it was a great choice having Kenton on as our first guest. So thank you again, Kenton, for joining us. It's been a good experience.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna wrap it up at this point.
I think we just did an episode.
All right, boom. Boom. All right.
Boom.
Thank you, guys. My name is Jim Mulholland.
And I'm Rodney Jordan.
Kenton Ellis.
We appreciate you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thanks.